Hello students, in continuation with our previous lecture on inverse kinematic modeling, where we have studied the problem of inverse kinematics and also found out that what are different types of workspaces are there which may encounter in the robotics. So now next two part are left for this. One is the solvability. The solvability itself includes the multiple solutions are there, what are different types of multiple solutions, how we obtain these multiple solutions, and also how the solution will exist. The existence of a solution will be discussed in this part of solvability. Now next is the closed form solutions. So we have a different type of solutions how we can obtain that solutions. So one type of the closed form solutions. So we are going to discuss today these two topics. Now solvability. But this solvability, basically when I talk about the direct kinematic modeling, it is very simple to solve. Just you want to find out the transformation matrix and multiply all the matrices for every link, and from one frame to another frame you will get the final answer in a simpler way. But in inverse kinematics it is somewhat complex because solution is found for the nonlinear equations. So in this case we have equations which are nonlinear, and rather in nonlinear we have a transcendental functions are there. Now what are the transcendental functions? That means functions which are trigonometric, sine, cosine, tangent, and exponential functions, logarithmic functions. That means you will get that equations. These are the transcendental functions, but in your robotics part you will having these trigonometric functions, sine function, cosine function, tangent functions and all. So these are introduce some type of nonlinearity in the case of the equations, and it is very difficult to solve that equations directly by some simpler method or algebraic solution. So that's why obtaining the solution for the inverse kinematic is complex. So the number of simultaneous equations is generally more than the number of unknowns. So in this case also it can happen in inverse kinematic. That means equations are more and the number of unknowns are less. So that means in that case you will have different types of conditions, whether the solution will exist or not. That is, we will discuss about the existence of a solution, how in that case solution will exist, and what conditions are there, in how these solutions have been justified in terms of multiple solutions. Multiple solution, that means we can have a multiple solution for a same, to reach a same configurations. We have also discussed in the last class. To reach the same configuration we can have same we can say same point. To reach that point, two different types of configuration can be possible. So that means we have multiple solutions, but among that two or three or four solutions, which will be the best one, that we have to decide, and that is a part of this solvability of the inverse kinematic modeling. So firstly I will talk about the existence of a solution. Now existence of a solution, now the condition. So this is what we have already done, that we have a manipulator, a robot manipulator or open chain, kinematic chain is there. So the degree of freedom in this case is equal to the number of links, because every link will have only one degree of freedom. We have already discussed in the last class. So that means if it is n, if it consists of 6 links, 6 open kinematic chain link, then it will be having a 6 degree of freedom. N links are there, and degree of freedom. So we have solved that equation for this. So condition of a solution to exist is examined first. So this is what we will find out, whether this end effector which you are visualizing here, this end effector will reach their final position or not. That will be, we have to examine first. That what defines the existence and non-existence of a solution. If it can reach within a workspace, that means it will have some solution. Otherwise there will be non-existence of that solution. If the desired point P lies outside the reachable workspace, then that means there is no solution exists. So that means we have already discussed the workspaces. That means if the point P that lies inside it, the workspace, that means it will be, the solution will exist, otherwise there will be no solution to exist. So using the transformation matrix from link 1, from frame 1 to frame 2 to frame 3, and we will find out these transformation matrix in the last case when we have a direct kinematic modeling. So you will obtain this type of matrices. This 3 by 3 matrix will be nothing but a rotation matrix, whereas this is a displacement matrix. This will be the scale factor, which is by default 1, and this is a perspective projection matrix, and that will be always be 0 0 0 for the robotic case. You have obtained this part already in the direct kinematic modeling part. Now what you will do in that part is, you know this part, you have a fixed value, you have a constant value for this, you will have a final answer for this, for particular theta 1, theta 2, theta 3, d1, d2, d3, you will have this constant matrix, and using this matrix you will obtain the end effector position, the orientation. This is represent the orientation of an end effector position, and this represent the displacement. That means normal, orientation and approach. But this 3 by 3 is nothing but rotation matrix, and this is nothing but a orientation, representing the orientation of a end effector, whereas this identify the position of a end effector. So this is called as a joint space, which we have already done in the last class again. That means we have a joint spaces, because joint space we have a link parameters, joint parameters, and as a whole it is called as a joint space. And this is called as a configuration space, where the origin of a end effector will locate, that is defined by the configuration space. So in the joint space we have n unknowns. Now when I talk about the pageant case, that means the inverse kinematic part, this part is the unknown part that I want to know, whereas this part is known to me. So in inverse kinematics we have n unknowns, because if it is a manipulator with n links, that means there are theta 1, theta 2, theta 3, and so on to theta n. That means this is consisting of a n unknowns matrix, whereas in this case we have a 3 by 3 rotation matrix, but all I want to know is the angle orientation. We have a 3 by 3, total 9 elements are there, but among 9 elements only 3 will be the independent variables. That means that will determine the rotation. That means this will determine the approach angle, roll, pitch and yaw. Overall case for this case is roll, pitch and yaw. 3 for this. That means in this case there are total 9 elements, but among 9 elements 3 are the independent variables. That means there are 3 known we have, remaining I will calculate by another dependent terms. Similarly in case of last row column, it is displacement matrix, again it is having a 3 known, whereas these 4 are the constant one. So in total I will have a 6 known in this part and n unknown in this part. And we already know from our basic classes that to solve certain equation I should have a number of equation with number of equations, and number of unknowns should be the same. So for a manipulator to have all position and orientation solution, the number of degree of freedom, that is n, must at least match the number of independent constraints. What are the independent constraints? These are the independent constraints. This configuration space is independent constraint. That is the general dexterous manipulation, that it should have a degree of freedom should either greater than or equal to 6. Then only you will be able to obtain the solutions. Now what happened for the manipulator which is having a less than or more than 6 degree of freedom, and that is more complex. Now if it is having less than 6, that is called as a our determined case. In that case we have a 6 equation, but the unknowns are less than 6. So that case is called as a our determined case. Whereas if n is greater than 6, that is called as undetermined case. That means we have 6 equations only, but unknowns are large. That in that case we have to make some equation dependent over another. So that the condition to obtain a solution as general, that number of equations and number of unknowns should be same, and that in that case it should be equal to 6. Why 6? Because this end effector will have 6, or this end effector can be defined by the 6 positions. 6 position, that is 6 position means 3 position and 3 orientation. 3 position means along this movement along this z direction, movement along y direction, movement along x direction, that is dx, dy, dz, and 3 orientation about this z axis, that is roll, this is pitch, and this is yaw, and this is all we will get finally. That means in case of configurations, in this case of end effector configuration, you will have a 6 knowns. That's why we have n unknowns and we have a 6 known quantity. So this is how the solution will exist depending upon the degree of freedom of a particular robot manipulator. So having multiple solution is a very common situation in a robot manipulators. It poses a problem because multiple solution poses a problem in selecting the best solution among the multiple solutions. Because we have a multiple solution, but which solution will be the best one, or which is best suited to our particular problem, particular robot, that is what we have to find out, and that is how we were going to proceed now. So multiple solution, we have different reasons. So one reason is that parallel axis of a revolute joint. So we have already done this part. That means if I want to reach point B, so the orientation can be like this, or orientation can be like this, but which solution we should adopt, that we have to find out, or in what are the conditions under which we have to decide whether this green configuration, this part is this has to be selected, or this blue part has to be selected. And this happens because of that this axis, the revolute point, this is a revolute joint, this is a revolute joint, so the axes of these are parallel, and this type of multiple solution occur because that the axes are parallel. That means two solution obtained because the axes of the two consecutive revolute joint, these two consecutive revolute joints are of the arm are parallel. So that means these two axes having a parallel z axis, we can say, because this is a z axis which passes through the axis of a revolution. So these are parallel. That means in that case you always get this type of multiple solutions. Now next case, it will be the introduction of a trigonometric functions. So whenever we have a trigonometric function in our equations, then again you will having a multiple solutions, because the harmonic nature of trigonometric function give some magnitude for angle in multiple of pi radians. That means every function is one type of harmonic, that like sine function, cosine functions, that are having a range of pi to pi, minus pi to pi, or minus pi by 2 to minus pi by 2, depending upon the different trigonometric functions. That means they will, for a particular case, I will have a configuration at theta, let's say 30 degree. At the same time I will have a same answer for 30 plus 180 degree, 210 degree. That means at orientation of 30 degree as well as an orientation of 210 degree, theta 1 theta 2, I will have a same solution. That means trigonometric functions result in a multiple solutions just because the nature is harmonic. Now next, the last one is the number of degree of freedom. So multiple solution also occur because of the number of degree of freedom. Sometimes the degree of freedom which is required is larger. So for more than 6 degree of freedom, the manipulator may have infinitely many solutions even. So degree of freedom play a crucial role in determining the number of solutions. So this type of manipulators which is having a more than 6 degree of freedom are also called as a kinematically redundant manipulators. You have an example for this, that is a SCARA robot. A SCARA robot is always having a one redundant degree of freedom, extra degree of freedom, The advantage of using this redundant manipulator is that you are having added flexibility and useful for avoiding the obstacles or reaching in a accurate location. So like in this case, this is what I have, that is a two degree of freedom case, but it is not able to pick this object just because there will be obstacle. But now if I increase the degree of freedom, increase the number of link, now I have some improved dexterity or improved degree of freedom. So, and that is called as a redundant manipulator. This is one type of called as a redundant manipulator, the added degree of freedom. When there is a degree of freedom added to the particular structure, then it becomes some some type of dexterity has been included in case of the redundant manipulators. So this is how we have a different types of multiple solution. Or multiple solution can occur because of these three reasons. Now the last is the solution techniques. Now the solution techniques, we have mainly to classify two different techniques. One is a closed form and other one is a numerical approach. Now what is the closed form approach? Where the joint displacement, that means all theta and I are determined as an explicit function of the position and orientation of the end effector, that is NOAD. That means every term is determined explicitly. You have a particular relation. That means this is a function of theta I, or theta I is a function of some type of NOAX. Then you can directly get the answer. It is also called as an algebraic or kinematic approach. That means we will having some algebraic equations, and solving that algebraic equation you will simply easily get that answer. But it is very difficult to solve the present case using the closed form solution. We have to make certain assumptions, we have to make certain equation dependent on another, because closed form approach is basically or give us the accurate result mostly for the linear equations. But in our case it is a non-linear equation, so for that we have to make certain type of assumptions, certain type of basically we have to make some equation dependent on another. So the necessaries are, because that's why we have to impose certain conditions. So it is not easy to get the closed form solution for the non-linear equations. So we have to impose certain condition, that is a necessary and the sufficient condition for a 6 degree of freedom manipulator. That means the 3 consecutive axes either intersect or 3 consecutive axes are parallel. Then only the closed form approach can be applicable. Otherwise it is very difficult to apply or get the exact solution for a non-linear equation. So to have a non-linear equation, to solve a non-linear equation in case of robotics, you have one condition, and that condition is what? That are 3 consecutive joint axes, that is Z axis, which we have already seen before. It should be an intersect or it should be a parallel. Then only you are able to get the closed form approach. So if these conditions are satisfied, so what happening in this case is the kinematic equation can be reduced to algebraic equations of degree less than or equal to 4. That means that your 6 degree will become to 4 degree, and then it is easy to solve the closed form approach. Now next is a numerical approach. The numerical approach, as you already know, is one type of iterative in nature. That means at every to get every solution you have to iterate it. You have to initially assume some solution, and based on iteration you will get one optimized result. And it is computationally very expensive, required some type of computational software to solve this. So in our course, in the present case, we are only going for the closed form approach, and we are not going for the numerical approach, because it is computationally expensive, requires some computer system to solve that equation. Also the solution is very slower. Like Newton-Raphson method is one type of numerical approach you can apply, but it is very difficult to solve it manually. So we require some higher computation power for this. So in the next class we are going to start our problem using the closed form solution. So today we end up here. Thanks and have a nice day. So next class we are going to study the closed form approach.